Okay, Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 2, which came out recently on Netflix. So essentially carries on from the first Part 1 of Season 6 where, you know, they're preparing for the tournament and stuff. It ends on basically them being at the tournament, but Part 2 basically just carries on from that. Straight from the jump, I feel like for me personally, I feel like the whole, you know, spin it to like different parts to me was kind of stupid. You know, why are we going to have like 5 episodes? And obviously we know it's going to be like 15 episodes overall. So I think the Part 3 is going to come out in like January or February in it. So I was kind of like against the fence when it came to the whole splitting it into like 5 episodes each time in it, but whatever in it. Of course you get other stuff as well, like the whole Miyagi situation about how he's a thug and all that stuff. I'll be honest, I feel like for me it was just a bit like kind of stupid, especially with like Season 6, where it's like, to me it was just kind of like why are we doing this? Like, why are we putting all this like things related to this stuff now? I think it's just because they just always want to bring in the whole Miyagi thing like 24/7 in it, but I was just like whatever. I can't lie, I was kind of hesitant in this Part 2 episodes, like the 5 episodes, because I thought that they weren't gonna like be focused too much on the tournament. Thankfully, like just pretty much like focusing on the tournament in it, so you don't have to stress about them leaving you on like a, you know, a sour end. But I was gonna say, yeah, thank God they're ending it in this season. Thank gosh. So if I start with the characters Robbie, I feel like with Robbie, yeah, he's a good character in it, but I just feel like there's certain scenes where I don't know how in the end of Part 1 when he sees, you know, Tori on the other side, he gets all like shell shocked and whatnot. Along with the other people on Miyagi-Do as well, they're all like shocked that, you know, she's on Cobra Kai now and all that stuff. But I mean, it wasn't really that surprise to me in it, but it was just like, I guess for them to end it on like Part 1 where you see her and stuff, I guess they tried to make it seem like it was something big where it really wasn't to her, so it wasn't really that surprising in it. But I feel like with these 5 episodes, you just have Robbie constantly fixated on her constantly, and it kind of affects the tournament and the results and stuff. Like, you know, they're losing points because he's literally constantly staring at her constantly 24/7, which I mean, I don't really understand. Like, it was just kind of really frustrating to see all the time. I feel like they needed to have Miyagi-Do at the start kind of just be like trash and just, you know, lose points for all these dumb reasons, you know, all this drama, which is, it really is stupid and over the top in it. But yeah, I was just like, you know what, like, I was just kind of just shrugging my shoulders. I was like, let me just watch it anyway. And the whole MIT stuff with, you know, Hawk and Dimitri, it was just really frustrating as well, because I was also getting in the way of the tournament as well, because that's literally all they were talking about. The whole back and forth with them was just really frustrating, if I'm being honest with you. And my gosh, especially Hawk as well. Hawk is just like, he was just such a cool character from the previous seasons in it. I feel like ever since like Season 5 when he lost to Kenny in it, they just kind of made him to like a joke. Like, to me, he's not as cool as he was before. I feel like now he's just kind of like one of those characters like, it's, you know, you laugh at and stuff, which kind of really irritates me in it. And Dimitri, oh my goodness, someone needs to get that guy Dimitri out, fam. Like, this guy, who decided this guy should be a character in the show? This guy is literally trash, yeah, and he's just constantly going on about some stupid MIT crap, right? But then it's like, you kind of have to get pop in, and I feel like from what I've seen on YouTube as well, I feel like the audience as well kind of get frustrated of him, like, you know, going on about the whole MIT stuff in it. So I'm not the only one in it. And Sam, she's like, Sam really, you know, I don't really care for her, if I'm being honest, as a character at this point. Like, she's, you know, just irritating, it's annoying, just constantly just being that person that always has to stir some type of drama. I feel like she's not as big as she was in the previous seasons and stuff, especially in this like Part 2, you know, tournament stuff. Like, I feel like Robbie is like the main guy in this season. Season 6 is kind of like Robbie's season, which I don't really have a problem with. The last 5 episodes, I kind of hated the fact that, you know, Miguel lost to Robbie, because it kind of felt like plot armor. But then when I think about it now, I don't really have an issue with it, because it kind of does make sense. You know, you don't want to keep seeing Miguel constantly winning all the time. When they both fight, it just gets a bit, you know, tedious and basically the same stuff that we've already seen in it. So I do appreciate the fact that they are mixing it up, doing something, you know, different. But if we're talking about Miguel, I feel like he's the only one in these like 5 episodes that's actually trying to win the tournament, that's actually in it to win it. And I feel like Daniel and Johnny, like, those characters are just getting boring. I'm kind of fed up with seeing them now, because every single second they're constantly like bickering back and forth. It's like one minute they're cool with each other, and the next minute they're just constantly arguing again. The thing that stood out the most to me that I loved about this Part 2 was the tournament aspect. Anything else external to me was just like crap, if I'm being honest with you. The pacing was relatively good. You know, you got to see a lot in the tournament and stuff, so I wasn't too mad at that in it. But at the same time, I feel like I was focused more on, you know, hoping that they wouldn't, you know, end it on a cliffhanger versus actually, you know, sitting down and enjoying the show, which could have been why, you know, I didn't really enjoy it as much. For the most part, you know, I had a blast with this Part 2, you know, it was alright. The tournament aspect I liked, so fair play. There's not really much story to tell anymore. Like, the whole Miyagi thug criminal thing, it's just like, you can just kind of tell they're just kind of just take things out of the box now that it's just not really working for the show. And I also forgot to mention Quan as well here. Quan is cool as hell, I can't lie. And I think what I really liked about this tournament arc is that you think when you go into cobrakai and Miyagi-Do is going to be like the best in the Sekai Taikai, but you actually start to realize that there's other people that are actually, you know, just as good or even better, which I really appreciated. It was just kind of really difficult to really judge, you know, how I felt about this, you know, part 2 of, you know, season 6. So yeah, it was a weird one for me. But I felt like the negative, the really big negative for me was that the ending. Like I was just sitting there thinking like, in my opinion, I felt like it was disappointing, in it? Especially how it ended on like a cliffhanger. I didn't have a problem with the cliffhanger in general. I just felt the way they implemented the cliffhanger wasn't as effective as it could have been if they did it in a different way, but I can't really go too deep on it because it would be a spoiler in it. Like it was really like stupid, over the top. But anyways, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you thought about this, you know, part 2 of, you know, cobrakai season 6, and maybe if you disagree with what I said or not. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I think, nah, it was kind of trash. Anyways, in a bit.